what I know. So there's been a lot of trial and error, but there was more of trials that worked than errors that didn't. And most of my errors were things that I used to kind of like educate myself on what not to do next. I dance and people are happy because I dance with you and you are happy. So if you don't understand that it's a product, it's different. If you don't understand that it can be a service, it's different. It's up to me to make you understand that this thing you need it to. Money should never be your motivation because it hinders aspiration. It does. I see money as something that I can control. I want you, I get you. Who you are can make you make you be anybody that you want to be. Every individual determines their own ceiling. Now, I hate it when some people use me as their ceiling. I want to be better than Kafi. That's why you are not getting to where Kafi is. If I can dance better than her, I am better than her. Our African system doesn't like to learn from one another. We feel learning from each other belittles us. If I go somewhere now to go and learn from a younger dancer, the way he will carry it for head, the way he will talk about me in a very dishonorable manner, is what to make somebody that knows so much not want to go and learn from a younger person. I always want to impact. I don't like to see the bad in people. I always want to see the good in you. And the good in you, for me, translates at what God put in you. That is not you.
Seize it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Usayome Saleh, and today we're joined by our very own NASA. A city on a hill.
A city on a hill.
You're looking lovely and amazing this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We've missed you.
Oh, I missed
for those
you.
that do not know, NASA is a lady on ways. She's not a guest. So just put it there. We just gave her sabbatical break.
Sabbatical. The sabbatical is long.
Very long one, no. How are you? How have you been?
Good. Great.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
It looks like the holiday and the rest and everything paid off.
Which
Yeah.
Holiday
I love the spirit that I'm saying.
Oh my God, it's good to be here always.
Yeah.
Good to see you ladies. Did you get
you see us all the time.
Of course we did.
Okay.
We missed you.
So
I didn't miss you.
Yeah, because I see her every time now. I don't understand. We live in the same house. Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good to be back. I'm happy to be back. Looking forward to this discussion tonight.
Absolutely.
It's a topic right up my alley, as you know.
Absolutely. It's an interesting conversation. And we have the bling lady.
Uti is doing her fist.
The bling bling. I love her pant trousers. So. Please, who is? Should I call out the matter?
This is one where they play that music. Shana Wale.
Shana Wale.
Like you want to just bling. Ooh.
Please, Uti needs to go out this night.
Bling. Yeah, I do actually.
It's Thursday, girl.
It doesn't matter.
How does that matter?
Hey, work from home.
I work hard from morning till night. I wake up, I roll into my laptop, I'm on my laptop till I fall asleep. So trust me.
So you have,
if I want to go out on a Thursday night, I'm going to go out on a Thursday night. Yeah.
All right, so there's a Tega, there's a Boma, there's a husband outside of the house, all that drama. Even though we are not watching Big Brother, but we cannot but... we can't hear the gist about
Big Brother is watching us.
I'm telling you, Big Brother is watching us. You know, but it's quite interesting because, I mean, you see double standards play out all the time when it comes to men and women. You know, some things are acceptable in some climes. Then when it pertains to a woman, all of a sudden the rules... It's a different ballgame entirely.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're talking about tonight. And here's what we found as today's quote. Never judge another on a standard you would be unwilling or unable to uphold yourself.
Fantastic.
This is a fantastic quote because I couldn't find a better quote than to put this nicely. So why do we blame women every time? Do we have Jennifer now? I'm sorry, I completely lost track of myself. Jennifer, are you there? She's supposed to be joining us via Zoom. Is Jennifer there? Okay, I don't think she's here now. All right, but Jennifer will join us. All right, so why do we blame women every time, especially when cheating is involved? It's our ladies' night out, and Uti, Jenny, Nasser, and I are asking why a woman must always take the fall for every sin. And when we open our phone lines, we would really love to hear what you have to say. But first, we'll take a break to see what we found in the news. You're still watching Ways. Today's supposed to be an international day if someone is working.
If someone is working.
If someone is working. But do we have Jennifer now? Okay, Jennifer, let me say hello to Jennifer first. Jennifer, hi. Hi.
Oh, new hair.
New hair. I'm used to seeing her with the long hair.
Jennifer, are you there? Oh, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can. How are you? How is Abuja?
I'm fine. Abuja is fine.
Awesome.
Oh, by the way, I heard that Lagos got flooded yesterday. How's that going?
My dear, some parts. But did you see, talking about flood, did you see New York and, is it Florida now or California?
Climate change.
You're going far. Did you see our back?
I saw that.
Did you see our back?
No, so the point is, like, who expect Nigeria to get flooded? Like, so these developed countries, so you know climate change is real.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, did we lose Jennifer? Oh, okay. I think we're having a bit of trouble. Someone will scroll my teleprompter, please. Thank you. All right, so it is estimated that anywhere from 60 to 80 million people died during World War II on all sides of the conflict. VJ Day should be seen as not only the celebration of defeat of the tyrannical Japanese government of the time, but also the remembrance of those who lost their lives. There are a number of different ways that people refer to VJ Day. This includes VP Day, Victory in the Pacific Day, that's VP, and Victory over Japan Day. No matter how people refer to this day, what matters is that it is the day on which Imperial Japan surrendered in the Second World War, marking the end of the war. That's the International Day for today. Do you know anything about this day?
Well, I remember the trauma that was, what's that movie now? Pearl Harbor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I try, I know history, you kind of have to know a little bit of it, but all these wars and things, like, it saddens me just to know that these things have happened and the human race still hasn't learned its lesson. In fact, we're getting worse.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's just part and parcel of what we are as humanity. I don't think these things are ever going to go away. My question, though, is who makes that decision to call off the war? Like, you know how they say, you know, there was a truce called. Like, how do you get to that point? Because why does it take so long to get to that point?
But even with war, Nasa, this question you just asked now, even with war, does
How
it
does
really
it start?
end?
That's what. Well, it does,
ends,
right?
yes.
Because there's something nothing in your mind. You're just waiting for the right time. Because now it takes a new form, right?
Well, so yeah, it's evolved
takes a new
now
form.
because I mean you could say that about terrorism because of course it's a cycle, it's a vicious cycle. A child probably has their father killed by a bomb, they become hateful and vengeful. But I think with war, it's more that thing where I mean, look at Afghanistan right now. You can say the war there is over because the people fighting the war, everybody has shipped out. So yeah, it can end.
Absolutely. So let me come to you, Uti. What did you fight for us to do yesterday?
Okay, so my story is a bit of a feel-good story. You know, we can't always be upset, but I'll find a way. So the headline says, Lagos airport bus driver returns missing $20,000, jewelry and others to owner. So this speaks of a driver of the airport shuttle, so one of the buses that takes the passengers to the terminal at MMA2, returned a bag containing, I mean, the contents of the bag for me were quite interesting, and I must commend the driver for returning it because it would make someone think twice. $20,000 in cash, 500,000 naira in 500,000 naira, 9 wristwatches to the valued in millions, jewelry, sunglasses, all sorts of things. So. Even a Samsung Note 20 phone. So there's quite a lot in there. Apparently belongs to a prominent Nigerian. So after I read the story, and I went, "Yay, well done, great guy." And I said, "Wait, where this person?
The content of the bag.
Lagos to Port Harcourt.
What exactly?
$20,000. Like we normalize these figures.
So, but hang on. Lagos to Port Harcourt. So maybe this person just arrived from somewhere. We don't know. We don't have that fact.
Okay.
It's just maybe he came back.
There is context there. Maybe.
Maybe. Let's hope that's what it is. But my question is, that driver, is it from the Gambia?
I don't know. It doesn't.
No, he's Nigerian. I'm just saying.
He's Nigerian, yeah.
Right?
But we've had.
I think we should even mention his
but in
name.
the times that we're in, people are hungry. I don't see how people are actually being as honest.
Yeah.
But it's very admirable. Sorry.
I hear you.
If you were the bus driver, I want to really know. Be honest too.
I'm not sure I can return that money.
I know. His name is Mr. Emmanuel Elu. So well done, Mr.
Oh, Elu?
No, not my Elu. So one L, 2 U's as opposed to mine.
Okay.
Well done to him.
Well done, Mr. Emmanuel. But the truth is, I mean, especially in that international airport, we hear a lot of stories. I mean, there was a woman one time that she was commended and she was even rewarded.
But what did they give those people? What did they reward them with?
Honestly, we don't know. But
because that would also make
it makes sense, right?
To give them something that makes sense, so that at least people
probably will.
are inspired.
I would imagine that the person who owns the money might be grateful.
I hope so.
True, and reward him. Yeah. All right, so Nasa, what did you find for us?
Well, so I'm taking us to Afghanistan, talking about wars. So from the Punch newspapers, it talks about the women in Afghanistan saying we're not afraid, protesting exclusion. So basically, the Taliban have announced that they're close to forming their new government. So by Friday, they should set up their cabinet. And so there's speculations that there'll be no females in that cabinet. And in fact, one of the hardliners in the first Taliban administration has said that, women shouldn't expect to be in the cabinet now or in the future government at all. And so they will work, they may work, there's no even guarantee of that, but they will not hold top positions in the near future or ever in the time of Taliban running as government. And so these women, what's admirable is because, when the whole thing started with the Taliban taking over, the concerns were for the women and the children. And for me, in a world where we're all moving towards including women more and, you're seeing more countries have women in top leadership positions, you're now seeing Afghan taking us 100 years back. But the good thing is the women are speaking out, which is so interesting. And I know that that's probably a very risky thing to do because these women are probably going to be getting what's coming to them. But I admire their boldness, their bravery to come out and say, you know what, we want representation. And I think that if, obviously, these Taliban people, I don't know how educated they are. If you know how important it is to have women in your cabinet, then you know that maybe you don't want to be excluding them because it's the women that thinks about everybody else. Research has shown that women would be more inclusive. They're thinking about the communities, everybody, you understand, as opposed to men who are a bit more narrow-minded, should I say. But
it's an education thing.
You'll be all right. Do we have Jennifer? Is Jennifer there? So she take her story. All right, Jennifer, let's hear what you found for us in the news.
Okay, so what I found in the news today is, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. These challenges of Zoom.
The internet is not your friend. Work from home.
With
Yeah, we can hear you, Jennifer. You can go ahead. I think we have your audio.
NDLEA and DSS uncover prohibited hard drugs at Apapa Port. So basically, I think they probably got a tip or something, or maybe during one of their search, they had to check some of the containers. And then I think when they carried their dogs and then they were doing the whole search, they found some hidden drugs, and these drugs are called Captagon pills. I think most of them were hidden in machines. So basically what they started doing, they started dismantling the machines, started uncovering more drugs. Currently they have a suspect and then he's undergoing questioning. I think what they said is that after their research, the effect of this drug leads to extreme depression, lethargy, insomnia, occasional palpitation of the heart, and blood vessel toxicity and malnutrition. So what they're saying is they're fighting really hard and they are making sure that they do thorough search to find out where these drugs are coming from and to uncover more of these drugs before they get shipped out or before they come into the country.
When I saw that story, so scary. But the good thing about this story is the synergy between these three establishments, the customs, yes, agencies, thank you for the word, customs, NDLEA and DSS. They said they had been training it for a week. So they took 1 week to monitor and they were able to uncover this. So imagine if we have...
Can they trail other things like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Imagine if we have more synergized operations. You would see that it will go faster and you would actually, you know...
We know what that tells you is we know what to do.
Absolutely. It's not for lack of...
I agree.
But to piggyback back to Nasser's story, I would like to take my story, which is about women soldiers, the first group of female Saudi soldiers. They graduated today. Yeah, I mean, yes, I saw the pictures. They were wearing trousers, you know, where people are trying to take us 100 years backward. This, I mean, Saudi Arabia is the home of Islam, as we all know it, right? Yes. And yet they are moving forward. Because all the things, I mean, they had approved women driving. Now we're seeing graduating the first set of female soldiers. So these female soldiers, they are the pioneering recruit. They completed a 14 weeks basic training at the armed forces, you know, and they said that they are going in line with international quality standards, you know, to meet, you know, the requirements for female recruits in the military. So I am so happy, and I want to say congratulations to all the women that were graduating, or that graduated today. Or was it yesterday, Wednesday? All right, so that's our conversation. When we come back, it's our ladies' night out. Women matter. Yes. Night. Feeling night. Okay. We'll take a break. See you after the break.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on PlusTvAfrica.
Thanks for staying with us. I think I am Lizzie J. She's an Instagram influencer. She expressed how her anger on double standards as it relates to adultery. She wrote, and I quote, "I've read a lot of outrage from people over a married woman, that's the BBN Tega, in bracket, having something with a man. And most of these write-ups are targeting the woman, yabbing and berating her. In all of these write-ups, I haven't seen one that berates the man. It's very annoying why we blame women every time for everything. Why must the woman be the one to take the fall for every sin? If the guy was a married man, you all will still come out and blame the woman for sleeping with him knowing he's married. When a married man cheats with another woman, we call out and shame the woman instead. Now a married woman cheats with another man, we're still calling out the woman. Why is the guy not getting the same attention? How did we come up with this double standards? How? She writes, and she says, the hypocrisy on the streets is too much, I beg. So on tonight's conversation, we're asking why do we relationships suffer from this double standard syndrome? You know, especially, you know, both, not just marriages, but generally when a guy is dating a woman and cheating is involved, you know, there is always, the woman always takes the fall. So that's our conversation. We're asking why relationships suffer from this double standard syndrome. Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. All right, so who's going to take the floor? Should we give it to Nasa as our special guest of honor? Nasa, so what do you think, honestly, when you saw this topic, what first of all came to your mind?
So what came to my mind was, this isn't new, right? This is what we've grown up to. When you say reality, it's a bit scary, but it is, right? It's what we've been socialized to believe. And my question was going to be, this lady that is ranting on social media, of what generation is she? Because, you know, I've probably lived longer than her to know that this is what I've grown up into knowing. And it's not peculiar to Nigeria. It's not peculiar to Africa. It's the world over. So I'm reading stuff online and it's everywhere. Double standards, you know. It's the way your parents have raised you. So if I'm a girl and I want my brother to do something, your mother says no, because that's not what a boy is supposed to do. You know, it's this thing, it's the patriarchal norms that we keep talking about. It starts from the family unit, how people raise the children. Society has embraced it and normalized it so that when we're complaining, it looks like, oh, where, you know, did you guys just wake up? Why are you complaining? But it's what we've always done, and we've accepted you. Some women will probably not understand why this lady is complaining. Like, look, this is how it's supposed to be. Even Uti has said it's reality. And so in that sense, some people have actually accepted, and it's sad. It's extremely saddening because I think it's unfair. It's not even about relationships. I just think that everybody should judge situations as fair as possible. You know, call out whoever you need to call out if they've done something wrong. It's not about gender, and nobody's entitled to, nobody should be, what's the word now? Nobody's entitled to being perfect or should be praised for doing the wrong thing, I think. Do you understand? Because it looks like it's okay. It's sort of acceptable for men.
I mean, if you are talking about it, let's take it back to the Bible, right? The woman was brought to Jesus Christ. I mean, let's go back all the way. She was caught in the act. That was what they said. She was caught in the act. And in my head, I'm wondering, okay, can you catch yourself in the act all by yourself? Or two of you have to be together and for them to be caught.
So it started a long time ago.
So it started a long time ago where a woman and a man would have an affair, and the woman will be the one that would be thrown under the bus. But let me hear your thoughts, Uti, then I'll come to Jennifer.
I think I don't even want to look at it from relationships. I think in general, double standards are everywhere when it comes to gender. So that gender bias is real. Yeah. Whether you agree, you don't agree. My first experience of it was as a very young girl. And I remember somebody walking past me and smacking me on my thigh and saying, "Cross your legs, come your legs." And I'm like, we're all sat here, we're all wearing shorts. I got singled out, right? And yes, there are things that, you know, people will argue propriety. There's so many ways to look at it. There's so many ways to justify it. But the reality of it is those standards exist. The less, I don't want to say exposed, but yeah. If you compare the West to Nigeria or to Africa, it's even a complete, we take it to the next level. We take it a couple of notches up, where, you have men who don't want to work for women, who don't want to be drivers. I had that experience. I had a driver, and my driver, and driver was like, I don't want to speak to you. Why should I speak to you? I'll speak to a guy. And I'm thinking, who's paying you? But so these things happen, and women go through it every day. It's debilitating, and I was having a conversation with someone last week, and I said, I'm very stubborn. My girl over here said I'm strong-willed. Very stubborn. And, oh, yeah, I like stubborn people. It never ends well. You go, can't take it. It never ends well.
My dear.
But that's the reality. So a lot of women even find themselves being silenced or just going with the flow, just so that, I don't need this drama. I don't need this headache. The double standards are everywhere. If you go into the workplace, a man is all in your face and everything. He's a doer. He gets it done. It's a woman and she's aggressive. She's emotional. The list is endless. I mean, we could go on forever.
Right. Talking about being strong-willed, I am very stubborn. Maybe that's why we're friends.
Makes life interesting.
It makes life interesting. But you see, this thing you're saying.
But what you're calling stubbornness isn't.
It's strong-willed, right?
Strong-willed.
I'm with you. There's a negative connotation with stubbornness. Because it's like a goat. Like, when I'm not stubborn, right? I'm strong-willed. Because, again, to be stubborn is that something doesn't make sense and I still want to do it. But I want to do stuff because it makes sense. Do you understand? So that's the difference.
So let's use the English of strong-willed.
Yeah, you're not stubborn.
Because Jennifer is very strong-willed.
With Gen Z attitude to back it up.
I'm telling you, why do I have too many strong-willed women around me? Father Lord.
It makes the world.
But Jennifer, let me hear your thoughts on this. Let's go back to the Big Brother situation. The Tega having something to do with the Boma, was the guy's name, and the husband coming out to defend, and people lashing out on this woman. Calling her names and saying that why would the husband even allow her go into the house in the first place? Like, really? Let me hear your thoughts on this.
So, honestly, I'm not surprised. When I heard about it, that was yesterday. No, it happened 2 days ago, right?
Yeah, I think
so.
Yeah,
2 days ago. Yeah. So when I heard about it, I wasn't surprised. I was expecting everything that was going to happen. I think I wasn't even upset when I saw what people were saying on Twitter, on Instagram. I think the one that kind of like shook me a little bit, and it was just like in your face, was an ex-Big Brother housemate. What's his name? Bali tweeted. He said that they have been married men on Big Brother show. He mentioned only 2 people. He mentioned Nii, and then he mentioned Mike. And he said, that the first married woman who comes on Big Brother has decided to disgrace herself.
That's untrue.
And then everybody lashed out at him. And what people start asking him is, excuse me, you were in the same season, in the same house as Tinto Tony.
Exactly.
Tinto Tony flat out denied his wife, he denied his entire family, and he informed that he was single. And he was still messing around with Bisola and some other people. So for some reason, he chose to omit that one person and made it look like all the married men that have come on the show have been good. And then this Tega that we are talking about, when she came into the show, her husband has been supporting her. So it is very obvious that they have that kind of relationship, they have that kind of understanding in their marriage, that this is what I am expecting. This is what she's going in there to do. She's going in there to win the money for us. And whatever they choose to do in their marriage is nobody's business. But then now the problem is, they're all focusing on the woman. I'm not seeing where anybody is bashing Boma, because it takes 2 to tango.
Absolutely.
Boma was involved. She was involved. So why are you bringing everything, saying everything about Tega? Why is Tega the only person who is getting the burn? Why?
But okay, so I like where Jennifer is asking, where she's
the only
going.
person that's being insulted. Honestly, I don't even... Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Yeah, I said I'm honestly not surprised. And the girl who brought up the whole story and was talking about the double standards and how women are being picked on and all of that, like, I'm not surprised. I expected it. But should it continue? No, because it doesn't make any sense. The fact that you feel that as women, we're not allowed to do some certain things, but men are allowed to do it. Why? Why is this still a thing? Well, I mean, it's a society that we live in now. It's not like we're going to change it anytime soon, but we hope to God that we make progress.
Okay, I love what Jennifer said, and I was going to say that this double standards syndrome that we have, who are the biggest culprits in double standards, in feeling? Thank you.
The women. If you go through and scroll through this Twitter, you will probably find more women bashing. That, I mean, we're sanctimonious, we're righteous, we're overly righteous, and it's easy. So for me, I was thinking, I said, actually, whilst we talk about the double standards, our culture or the world has also sort of moved on, because when you were talking about it, I kind of remember back in this same vein to when that whole T20 or whatever you guys call him was happening. And it's like 5 minutes of fame. After that, nobody sort of remembers that it happened and they move on. But the thing for me is, when I was seeing this whole story and I asked the question, I said, look, this show, it's a certain type of show. I've shared my opinion. I don't think it should be on air, but anyway, it's a certain type of show, and people have strategy. They go in there with the intention to win. So when people then sit without having any information, and I guess this is where social media is great, right? You're nameless faceless, you can bully anybody, you can say whatever you like. But this person has gone on there. There are very many women who work abroad as prostitutes, and they're feeding their families and they're feeding their husbands, and everybody's okay. Yeah. So whether you agree that it's right or wrong, everybody has life choices to make. That's right. So when you sit, you know, on your high horse on social media and you're saying this and that, it doesn't matter, because the funny thing about it is people in glass houses always throw stones when they shouldn't. Most people running their mouths, if you dig deep, you find a skeleton, 2 or 3.
Everybody has a
because
skeleton.
we've normalized a lot of these things, and for me that's where I think I kind of I have that hang up. We've normalized all these things. So when you come and I often want to ask people, what are you saying? Like, is this the first time you've heard of this? Is it news? But you just feel like you need to say something. Like, that's social media for you. So every time I see it, I just think, people have energy. Clearly, data is way too cheap these days.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Nasa, you were going to go.
So I liked what Jennifer said. She mentioned that, I lose my train of thought. She said something that struck me, and it's around...
Oh, are you losing your thought? You know what? Let's quickly go on it, because today we want to open our phone lines early enough so that we can have more people to call in. But I really want to understand this double standard. For women, we are the biggest culprits. Yes, so let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Desire to study law, none whatsoever. I was more inclined to fine arts. My only ambition, I would say, was to become the chief prosecutor. For me, politicians are a bit too playful. That's what I believe. And since '99, we've seen how much investment in social events, in launching some streets that you just starred, and the whole day will be spent on this occasion. Rich people are generally law-abiding. We are not law-abiding. So another problem of administration is that people don't follow the rules.
Timeless Conversations, airing every Sunday at 8:30 p.m.
All right, if you just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out, and we're asking, why do we have double standards as it relates to cheating in relationships, right? Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Our phone line is also now open. Please, when you call, do turn off the volume of your television set, and remember to keep your conversation short so we can have more people calling. The number to call is 070-2500-7744. 7749. That's 070-2500-7749. All right, so Nasa, you wanted to say something,
I was saying that Jennifer said something about this is society we live in, and this isn't going to change anytime soon. And as sad as that may sound, I think that in truth, maybe that's the reality. And what I sort of say to myself is, you know what, everybody should. Every relationship is unique, and so if you're comfortable, I know someone who's told me how he has an open marriage. And so some things are discretionally, discretionally, discreet. I can't remember what the words were. Well, I just thought, you know what, this is very interesting. So the woman has accepted, right? So you're comfortable with this relationship. He's enjoying himself. And you two, you're doing your own stuff. And then we'll come up one day and say, oh, they're double standards. But we, as women, continue to sort of make this happen. We facilitate it, we encourage it, we accept it. So maybe Jennifer is right. This isn't going to change. And everybody should just manage their relationship. So Boma, Tiger is the wife, right?
Yeah.
Maybe she has, like Uti said, she has an agreement with the husband. That's even if they're really married. For all we know, this is just all for sensationalism.
Okay, so there was another thing this Lizzie lady said, Lizzie J. She said something about religion. That we do not have a mind of our own these days. It seems like we are wired to go by what the pastor says, whatever says. So if I want to go back to religion, I always bring back that adulterous woman to the table. When they brought her to Christ, why did he not? Jonathan, he only said one thing, and everybody just went back to their shell. He says, pick the stone if you think you are not guilty.
But he said everything, though.
That's everything.
That's everything.
So my point is, who is shaping this mindset of double standards? Because everybody is vulnerable. You understand? It's just that your vulnerability level will differ. So who is shaping our thinking when it comes to double standards and all of these things? Who shapes us?
But those are our cultural norms. How are we raised? You're raised as we're growing up. You've got to learn how to cook. You've got to learn how to clean.
The man is the head
who's
of
going to look after your husband? And then the boys are there faffing about. If they're lucky, they wash the car and that's it. We are raised with these norms, and it's not changing anytime soon. If we don't actively make those choices to train our sons to respect women, if we don't teach them that, there's no such thing as this is a woman's job, this is a man's job, you do have to value a person. You have to respect a person as a human being first, before we get to the point of gender. So those norms exist. I mean, men today, so many men. I remember once being in a road accident, and the man said, "No, I don't talk to women." And I'm thinking, what's that got to do with anything?
Understand.
We are here, we need to sort this out. Oh no, I don't talk to me. Literally would not speak to me.
Who is this person?
So
what was
it was a road hit, like the cars hit themselves on, and he wouldn't speak to me. So I don't talk to women.
So what
how
did you not resolve the matter?
Oh no, I had to call Oga so that.
No.
Are you kidding?
I'm serious. He wouldn't. On this, he wouldn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said, I don't talk to women.
I don't talk to women.
Okay. Your car they don't go fix up with that. But we have a comment, Uti.
Okay, so this says, good evening, amazing women. Loving your conversation like crazy. As per your discuss, it's a function of social construct. The more the awareness and exposition, the better going forward. Women need to speak up against such act in unity. Our boys from an early age need to be taught how to respect women. Religious organizations should rigorously preach against such practices. I think that's such an important one. Most importantly, consequences should be enforced to discourage perpetrators. That might be a hard one to do. But he says it can only get better. Thank you so much. That's from Emma in Cross River State.
Absolutely. Let me come to Jennifer. These religious houses, because I think they are the biggest
perpetrators,
shapers of destinies. Because they are the ones that shape, they tell us how to think and all of that. So how do we begin to push the agenda to say, you know what, there should be some level of, when it comes to double standards or measuring standards, it should be uniform across board. It shouldn't be that, oh, a woman should be in a certain way. I mean, I've been home, my boys have been home, from 7 after I started cooking in the kitchen. This morning, I've not entered the kitchen. He went and made breakfast for me, brought it to my bed. That's my son, no? Not even my husband.
Yeah.
He came, brought the breakfast for me. I mean, he knows mommy is tired, mommy needs to rest and all of that. They do the house chores and all of that. So I think, Oti, our generation will make a difference, because I know that women that are raising boys now are doing something different. But let me come to Jennifer on religious houses. What do you think, and how do you think we can begin to push some of these agendas subtly, because we can't come too hard?
I believe that these are the biggest perpetrators of these.
Oh wow.
Oh, sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, did we lose that? Okay, so you know what? So Elsie sent us a quote, and this is the response from the husband, right? It says,
I'd like to hear that.
Who, from Tega's husband?
Tega's husband. He says, first of all, I love my wife. Because I saw this yesterday, but I couldn't find it again. He said, first of all, I love my wife. However, I would like to state that our marriage is not perfect, just like many other marriages out there. It says, we are two imperfect people. The past 24 hours has been hell for us as a family. I have wronged my wife in so many ways, but cheating on her was what broke the bond we had as a couple. Before you judge me, please note that I am not perfect. I am not the best husband as you think, as you all think I am. I cheated on my wife in our matrimonial home. I am not proud of this. This mistake has caused so much damage in our marriage, to the extent of her threatening to leave our once happy home. In my little way, I have tried to make amends for everything I have done wrong. I have tried to support her dreams, to campaign and defend her, and also to be a better man. But all these are done in her absence. So, she doesn't deserve me. She deserves her happiness and peace of mind. Okay. And if she's doing or saying anything to spite me, it's because I deserve it. So I am sorry, babe, for not being the man you wanted me to be. For you, I am sorry for everything. I'm just a man that erred and hope to be forgiven. I love my wife and will give her all the support she needs. Even if she doesn't forgive me, I want the best for her, because she has been nothing but the best of woman in my life. So God bless you for all your prayers.
This makes me think that this is you know, this people are playing to the gallery. This is it's been
so
staged. You see, because first of all, I'm not saying there are no men like that. So, and if in truth, maybe if he's that kind of man, then I'm really, really happy that he's this vulnerable, right? But it's very unlikely. It is very.
So this is
now,
like,
which one would I want?
This
Now you are just playing a double standards.
No,
we're not.
No. So
go ahead.
No, because I mean, come on now.
I love my wife.
Is it a movie?
You know, yeah.
No.
So this is her now.
So I cheat.
So she too can out cheat.
So you know what? Here's the open door. Here's the red flag. Let's cheat. No, it happened, and I can say okay because it happened. I'm okay with it because there's this past history. There is not the
I deserve it.
Cheated,
and you know,
I cheated.
No. That's some PR strategy right there. Let me see. I have this chat from a friend of mine and her husband. I thought it was very cute, which is for me. There's an incentive here. So she sends her husband this message: "Do you think I will cheat on you for $1 billion?" Her husband responds, "Which movie are you watching again?" She says, "Just answer." He says, "For $1 billion, we should both cheat together with the same guy. He can date us both." Again, there's an incentive. It's a lot of money, babe. How are we doing this thing? Yes, I've cheated before. You know, we're just going to do this thing. People, Nigerians will love this kind of thing. And then I'll come out and do the man that they've never seen before. You know, it's okay. I love you. You cheated. It's okay. You can do your own too. I still need you in my life. Nah.
So this is stage play. But I have seen
when they win the 60 million or whatever the prize in money is, then they're going to slink off.
Jennifer, please bail me out here. I don't understand what here.
Yeah, no, you guys, you lost me. You lost me when you read that. We're doing okay until you read that thing. What?
This is definitely.
It's Jennifer there. But I have seen a man that the wife cheated on.
I have to, right? I'm saying, but no. Did you read that story?
I just read it to you now. No. I have seen men that their wives cheated on them, and they were.
Have you heard of the thing called ego?
It's not. Listen. So let me.
So guess what? He can be remorseful not a national TV. Why make this statement? Just one line, like it's okay. My wife and I understand that. You know, if you had stopped at we understand ourselves, you know, we have an understanding. Let it end there. But all that mushy parts that I need.
You guys are losing me. But let me take Austin first on Benin. Thank you for calling. Hey, problem.
Good evening.
Hi, Austin. Thank you for. Hi, Austin. Austin, first of all, if your wife cheats on you, would you forgive her?
No, there should be, the truth is that there should be no excuse for cheating. No excuse at all. If
for your wife or for both of you?
No, for both.
Okay.
Nobody should give any reason for cheating.
Go ahead.
No, nobody. There should be no reason. There should be no reason for it at all. That's why you see that the men who do it, they do it discreetly. They don't do it to the knowledge of their wives. It's only the ones, I don't know whether to use the word irresponsible ones, that will want to do it to the knowledge of their wives, if they have to do it at all. Okay? Now, on the area of, you are talking about double standard now.
Yes.
In this society, I think what has happened is that a lot is expected from women.
Oh, did you lose it?
Okay? So, and
Austin, can you come back again?
That,
sorry, we lost you for a minute. You said a lot is expected?
Yes, a lot is expected from women when it comes to morality.
Okay.
So that's the way the society is. And, you know, sometimes you hear people even say that women are created better than women. You know, I mean, just look at women. Look at the way they are. You know, they are different. They are just different. You know, from men. You know, so that's the way it is. But like the cheating aspect, there should be no excuse at all. No excuse. Yes.
Thank you, Austin.
Maybe they don't love themselves. That's why they are doing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Austin. So this is the conversation. Why is it that all the time, when it comes to morality, a certain standard is expected of a woman and the same is not expected of a man? Well, we raise our boys, we tell them, oh, it's, you know, we tell the girl, do not lose your virginity, do not luse your. But a boy, you do not tell him, do not lose it, because it seems like it is almost unheard of for a boy not to be, do you understand, not to experiment when it comes to, as in engage in premarital sex. So when you see a guy that says, no, I don't want to indulge in premarital sex, you are seeing like, this one is an akamu.
It's traditional norms that have been passed on from generation to generation, from one geographical place to another. Because to me, right, it's, you know how there are some things that happen and like, why are we doing this? Like, it's a tradition, but nobody is asking why they were doing it that way in the first place or how we originated. So for me, because it's not peculiar to Nigeria, it's the world over, right? So wherever it originated from, it's just been passed on and it's been accepted as, we keep saying, it's been normalized. So this is where we are now.
So is there hope for future changes?
Well, that hope is with us, right? So if we're not going to accept what's been passed down, you know how we keep saying this is the reality and it's normal. If we continue to have that mindset, then it's going to continue to be the reality and it'll keep getting passed on. You just keep telling the next generation, well, this is how it's always been. And nobody's going to actually make the change. But you do say something. And even if you ask why, we really don't know why, because nobody told us why, right? We're where we are. What we can do, however, is begin to make those changes ourselves, saying, well, this doesn't make sense to us. But then everybody has to be on that boat. But I don't know how many people, because some people are just comfortable being in this current situation and how things are. It works for them. They're comfortable. Nobody wants change. It's too inconveniencing to change, especially for the party that benefits from it. They're not ready to change. You see men who want to be both traditional men and the modern men. So on the one hand, you have that expectation of what a traditional husband wants. And then the other hand, you also want to do what the modern guy expects. It's like, choose your struggle. Which one do you want to be? If you want to be traditional all the way. Do everything that's expected of a traditional man. And if you want to be modern, then you have to be more open and more pliable to all these different things that the modern world presents.
No, speaking of tradition, Uti, you mentioned something about your people in Delta State. We can't let it slide, please.
Okay, so there's this thing that my grandmother, in fact, my mother used to say as well. So I'm Shekeri. And the idea, yes.
How's your new Ogiame doing?
He's
obviously not.
He's doing good, but I mean, he's shaking tables. I don't know if you've been following.
Yeah.
He's been shaking tables, and things are happening. But I mean, it was funny then because we used to talk about the whole polygamy thing is normal in the culture, and I remember that I used to remember my grandmother saying that when a woman was married and her husband didn't have a child outside of the marriage, like maybe another wife or just another child, that they would say that her head wasn't good.
So hang on, so they're married.
Yes.
But he doesn't have children outside of the marriage.
Outside of the marriage.
There's something wrong with the woman.
Yes.
Are your people okay?
Please focus, face the camera and ask the question. I'm simply telling you what was said.
What?
But I mean, so those these standards exist. And when you were talking, I was thinking about it in different elements because when you asked about how it would change, I think that the times are changing. So even the construct of morality is changing because when you watch TV, I sometimes am nostalgic. I like to watch old TV shows, and the skirts have gotten shorter. Do you get what I mean? We've commercialized sex, right? So these things are desensitizing people. The construct, like I said, of morality is broadening, so it's not such a big deal. So for 5 minutes, we might go, hey, she did this, and then we'll move on. So it may not necessarily be that, yes, some parents are being intentional now about their men, but the reality is, over time,
the world they're moving on.
It's just moving on. And what will change may not necessarily be the people, might just be what our cultural norms are, where it's okay. I mean, we read these funny things sometimes on Facebook where you say a woman has 3 husbands somewhere in East Africa or something. But these things will evolve. It's us. Beings, right? So that's what I mean. But, it's now not necessarily the case that men all of a sudden become better or we become more intentional about how we raise them. Some people might, but the collective may not do that. But those constructs and those contexts will change. And that might be a faster way of coming away from it. Because if you even look at the focus in what's it called now? In the workplace, the gender, glass ceilings, in different parts of the world, the focus is really shining the spotlight. Companies are really, even to the extreme now, trying to get women, up into boardrooms and all of that. So the changes will happen in different ways, in different sections or, context around women. But it will change because we've come a long way from where we started. I wish, if I say this now, the men probably come for me. The women are moving faster than the men. Because the men are still, carrying around the ego. They still want to be the man of the house. But then you expect me to work. I mean, if you want to be the man of the house, then you know what? I can just sit at home, cross my legs, be a kept woman, cook. If you want, freshly cooked soup every day, let's go. Make it happen. But that in itself is a double standard. Because now men want to get married, they're asking you what she brings to the table. What do you mean, what do I bring to the table?
Okay, I don't mind bringing something to the table.
No.
You too.
Don't ask me what I'm bringing to the table. I did not.
It's okay to ask.
No,
why not?
I disagree wholeheartedly.
Why not?
I know.
This is double standard. But you can ask me what he's bringing to the table.
No, that's what I'm saying now. You saw me like this. I didn't come up to you. I didn't say excuse me.
This double standard will never end.
You came to me.
Let her finish.
And said hello. And I said hi. And then we get to this point, and then you now want to be dissecting my finances. Was your own not complete before you saw me?
I was wondering where Uti was going with it.
No, I'm not saying it's not a partnership. It is that entitlement, that wanting to know that I bring something to the table. If you are not ready to carry the table by yourself,
Yeah, but
don't say
but carrying the table by yourself, though, that's again going back to, so that I'm carrying the table by myself means that then I can have certain expectations of you as a woman. Is that okay?
Yeah, so
okay,
if
so
I'm coming, so that's what I'm saying, that it's about what we choose. Right? Don't have the double standard.
No, of
that
course,
says,
I get that. You have
yeah, that's
to
what I'm
choose
saying.
one.
So you have to
That's what
choose
you
one.
said, yeah, choose
So,
the one you want. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I've shaken your table.
No, because I was going to ask that in all of this, you know, because if we're trying to sum it up, I don't know if we have Jennifer now, but we're trying to sum it up and wrap up the conversation.
Yeah.
If we decide to say today that we want to move from where we are today, we've come a long way as women, right? Do you think the impact of self-awareness or self-whatever also pushes this agenda of double standards? I'll give an example. If a woman cheats on a man, right, and she goes to say, oh, I'm sorry, there's every likelihood that because the man loves her, you know, even if she doesn't say sorry, if the man loves her, he would just forgive her and move on anyway.
Really? No,
Yes.
no. Let me tell you.
Wait, now, yes. But you see, when comments now start coming, that why, you understand, then it kicks in. So,
okay, see where she's going.
Do you understand? Where people start to bring comments when people do not know. So maybe the reason some of these things are happening is because it is out there, she's outside. If she does it quietly and she says, oh, this, even if she does not even apologize, if the man loves her, there's nothing that she's going to do that will make the man leave her. Leave her. I am talking from something that I saw, you know, but I'm just saying to you that...
You want to tell us more?
You want to tell you more? I will not tell you more. Just factual. She loves gist. You know, but I'm saying that we also, as people, we are also the main drivers of this double standards. We feel it because if you had left relationships, right, to be by themselves when nobody is commenting on anything, I am very, Jonathan, I am very certain that 80% or 90% of issues about cheating, you understand, it ends there and they move on. They would choose to forgive. It's the same thing with women. If a woman finds her husband cheating, the first instinct a woman would have is to forgive. But when they now start having a lot of filters into her ears, you be mumu, you be this, why would you allow a man to cheat on you and all of that? Then the woman begins to feel like, am I being a fool?
I don't even think it's that strong for women. So women, like, even if people know, you know, if you love, you're like, you know what, it's fine. This is what I've chosen. This is what I want. But for men, it's very, I think that ego comes into play. It's like when people know, it takes away their manliness. It makes you less of a man. So in that sense, and I'll give you an example. So I remember growing up, we had a neighbor and her husband and wife, right? So he said when they just got married, his wife couldn't cook certain meals. So when his family members would come to visit, he would go to the kitchen with her and help her cook, and then come back out and act like she cooked it. And for me, that's just exactly what the
double standards.
So he doesn't want them to know. He's happy. He doesn't care that his wife doesn't know how to cook. He's comfortable with it. But the fear of what his people would say is what keeps him from coming out. Because what's wrong with you saying, oh, I made this meal. My wife can't make it. I made it. But no, it makes me, I'm no longer the head of this home because I made the food instead of my wife. And that's exactly what plays out with the relationship.
Thank you. So in summary, what I'm saying is that until we get to that point where we do not give any credence or whatever to what people say,
which is exactly,
maybe this syndrome of double standards would actually just have a natural barrier.
Because it's all about how people react to it, and
absolutely,
and they call you names. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me take our final call. I think from Port Harcourt. I didn't get the name. Francis, thank you for calling. Stop hearing yourself. Talk.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
My name is Francis. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Thank you for calling. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay. I think I've been hearing you people are making conversation about a marriage issue.
Okay, go ahead.
Nothing is even wrong for a man to went to kitchen with his woman how to prepare food. Nothing is even wrong there.
Okay, Francis, you have to stop listening to yourself and talk to us. Turn off the volume of your television set.
I do.
Go ahead. You might need to cut off the line. when you, well, we're out of time. But Uti, you wanted to hear your final thoughts. Do we have Jennifer? Did we just lose her completely? Okay.
It appears so.
I wasn't agreeing with that wonderful
That line
analysis segment and analysis that
why?
you guys. So I don't know that. I've seen it happen too many times. Men just can't deal. Like you see women forgive. Well,
Uti, I strongly say no.
What they can't deal with is people knowing and making them look like, oh, you're not man enough. This woman just played you. That's it. Trust me.
I have been in a situation where if everybody said it, they'll say, oh, this man would leave this woman. But my husband is there. So I'm saying to you that it depends on who you're dealing with as a partner. If love is truly your underlining, foundation for your relationship, nothing is beyond pardon. But you see, what usually happens is a man will say, so you allow my wife can never try that. So when we start to have those third parties in relationships, then you begin to have this double standard syndrome playing out. But Uti, I have seen men, right? Men that will say, you know what, there's nothing you want to do to me. I will forgive you and we'll move on. But you see, it is the society, it is us. It's some of these generalizations that will say, no, a man can't take it. Who told you a man cannot take it? Have you tried the man first?
You want to?
They tried the man first. No, but I do agree with Owa. Yes, the vast majority of men won't be able to handle it, and for that reason that we've stated, like, trust me, if we tried to test it, let's see. I mean, Owa, can you help us test it? Yes. Let's do it, Mr. S.
Trust me, I've done worse. And Mr. S is still there.
Hallelujah. Well, so there you go.
So we have good
but
men
you just
out
made
there.
This public now.
It doesn't matter.
There are good men out there. I'm not saying
so
there are
Uti,
good men out there.
don't be skeptical.
Uti jaded. Oh, Uti, we need to. She needs a
Jaded, I'm proud.
She needs a renewing of the mind. I need to remove her medal.
Oh my God! I think we've had a fantastic conversation. Sorry to the people that tried calling. I think we're having phone line issues. But thank you, Uti, Eliu. Thank you, Nasser. And thank you to Jennifer, even though we lost her.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you to everyone that called and sent in messages. So before we go, ooh la la, I think we have some messages. Sorry, quickly. Let me take some. Before we go. Say good evening, ladies. A double standard can only occur in a relationship when there's lack of trust and the indoor games is denied, or either both giving reoccurring excuses for the do. Okay, both men and women should stop doing sightseeing on the opposite sex body or appearance. Say both men and so the both Oh, okay. That's from Ade. Thank you, Ade, from London.
Very consistent.
It's very consistent. All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, we're planning a giveaway to say thank you to you for believing in the ways, but you might just win a lunch date or dinner date with Nasa and Uti. You never know.
Who's paying for the
different giveaways. So ensure you follow us now. Is at PlusTvAfrica. Invite your friends and family to also follow and watch the show. So if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Never judge another on a standard you would be unwilling or unable to uphold yourself.
Correct.
In summary, remove the log in your eye before you try to remove the speck in somebody else's eye.
That's right.
We'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
Bye.